started so we can
All right.
go for it.
So do we have a quorum then if we're missing 3 people, or are we just missing 2?
So we're
You do
missing,
not have a quorum.
yeah.
Because we don't have Winnie, we don't have Sky and Rachel.
Yeah. Winnie will be here soon, and when she gets here, we will have quorum.
So what can we do in the interim? Can we just talk about projects, or since we can't really decide on anything?
So John, go ahead and still call the meeting to order.
All right.
And we'll just need to skip over the approval of the minutes, and you won't be able to approve those until you have a quorum or approve anything, but you can definitely give reports and have other discussion.
Gotcha. All right. I've got 6:33 and we're calling this meeting to order. Welcome everyone. And let's see, do we have any adjustments to the current agenda? Anyone? All right. We're going to pass by the approval of minutes from the last meeting until we get Rachel in here. You said Rachel or Winnie's coming in? I'm sorry.
It'll be Winnie.
Winnie, okay. And I guess, do we have any citizen comment by chance, Shanda?
We do not have any citizen comment that I've received.
All right. And then back to you again with the Center for the Arts update.
Yeah, so the Center for the Arts, as you know, has done a lot of, we like to use our favorite verb lately is pivot. We've done a lot of pivoting due to the new tier system in Washington County. We are closing our building to in-person classes right now. So Leah just did a great job of putting a bunch of classes online. We've been doing some classes online through the Zoom platform, and that's what we'll be doing through January. So it's been a good flexibility moment for all of us, but it also, I think it speaks to the strength of our staff that we're able to make things happen still and still serve as a cultural arts hub for the community. So I'm really proud of the work being done there. There are signups right now for winter classes in the month of January, and we're just kind of taking it month by month. Santa's workshop happened, and we had an elf deliver little packages of things to kids. I think, John, one of your kids was involved. That was really fun, so it was great for that program to still happen. And the good thing about being an arts center is we are very creative in the ways we can creatively solve all the problems and still deliver what our mission is. So that is the latest there. Hi, Winnie. See her coming.
Hello.
Hi.
Good
welcome.
evening.
Good evening. Let's see. That's the biggest program note for Center for the Arts right now. We're also, if you physically drive past the Center for the Arts and look at Cannery, we've been helping with that Cannery Lights project that we're calling Illuminate Sherwood, which we talked about earlier and which you all were a part of the early discussion on lighting up the town. And you can see in our windows right now, thanks to John Lyles, we've got a lot of beautiful green and red uplights that are highlighting our windows. In the corner, our chandelier, which is kind of tree-shaped, is lit with green uplights, so it looks like a Christmas tree in the corner. And there's red shining right on our peace pole. So walk past. It's a beautiful sight. It'll be up this week. And thank you, John, for helping us get those free lights to use to make it very merry.
No problem.
Yeah. That's
Did we get you back in there, Winnie? It looks like you popped out there for a second.
Yes, I'm back in. I'm trying to get the video started. I got a new laptop, so I need to download the Teams in order to start. So I think I'm getting there. Sorry.
No worries. So do we want to keep on discussions until she's set to talk about approving minutes and all that then, or?
Sure. And I know the next thing on the agenda is the Friends
Mhm.
update. I can speak to that really quickly in Sky's absence. The Friends sent out an end of year ask letter, both online and in paper versions, and they are still collecting cans. So anyone who has some recyclables that they want to give to the Center for the Arts, the Friends of the Center for the Arts, let Sky know, or someone on that board, and all those funds are going towards scholarships for next year.
Can I ask a question, Shonda?
Yeah.
Can you donate online, or do you have to send a check?
I believe there is a donate button online now.
Closer, I can see it.
Do you want me to send you that exact link? I know that was something that was.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good, because maybe I was looking at the wrong thing. Good, thank you.
Any other questions about Friends or anything happening on that end? All right, Winnie, are you in?
I can see you guys, but I'm trying to get my video uploaded. So I can see you, Chanda. So I can hear you guys. Yep.
Awesome. So Winnie, with you here, we now have quorum. So John, do you want to go for approval?
Sure. Did everyone get a chance to take a look at the notes, the meeting notes from last week, so we can approve the meeting minutes?
Yes.
Can I get a motion for approval?
I have one question. It's a very minor point, but I think that when Sky was talking about donations on page, let's see, 2, it says that, let's see, where is it? That donations under $300 do need to be itemized on 2020 taxes. Is that correct, or is it do not need to be?
I think, Jeff, you're right. I think it's there was a threshold of $300, and if you're over, you don't need to itemize. Does that sound more true?
A minor point, but I just picked up on it.
No, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, and that was a point for the nonprofit donations.
So do they need to be itemized or do not?
I believe they do not, but let me
Okay.
look for sure before we do that. But yeah, there was something about that mark. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting on the 16th of November?
I so move.
Can I get a second? Everybody's muted. That's good. I'll second it. And I second it
So
myself.
Casey or John need to second it, or Winnie.
I
You're
second.
muted. There we go.
Okay. Thank you, Winnie.
All right. So
Can we get a all in favor, John, please?
Oh, thank you. All in favor of approval of the minutes from last meeting? Say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Was that a delayed response to approval, or did you oppose the minutes from last month, Casey?
Sorry.
I asked if there were anyone opposed to the meeting minutes from last month, and you said aye.
Oh, I delayed response to you.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
No worries. Okay, just making sure. All right. Moving on to discussion of upcoming community art by Shanda.
So I do have clarity on the $300. Just if we can go back to that. It's part of the CARES Act. It's new for this year. It allows people who take, it's a partial above the line deduction for charitable contributions. And it has to do with claiming a deduction of up to $300 in donations. I will go back and work with Sky to put a better sentence in the minutes. Do we need to reapprove that sentence or add a clarifying statement?
I just need to know if donations under $300 need to be itemized or they do not need to be itemized. We don't need a new sentence. I just need to correct the minutes if the word do not.
I think it's not as, I don't think it's a do or do not. I think it's a more complicated sentence that needs to be put in.
Sure, but we'll, we just need to state what was.
Yeah, I think what we should say is we're, as much as we would love to, we're not in the position to be giving tax advice, and to take a look at it, it's through the Friends. It's not through this board. So we don't need to make a decision. We just unfortunately don't have a clear answer for you, Jeff. So hopefully we can get some clarity on the Friends board, but unfortunately we're not clear on the matter. So we're not going to be able to give any advice or say how that should go down.
That's fine. I'm sorry for the confusion.
No, that's okay.
No, it's a great question to ask.
That's a good point, because I thought it was 500.
It's unclear on the form, so we appreciate that. We'll just need to pass that on to the Friends.
Great. Thank you, Kristen. All right. I'll move on to discussion of upcoming community art. So as you know, last month we talked a lot about some of the opportunities we have for doing a community art project, or many community art projects that will help our community during this time of the pandemic. And we had spoken about the Be the Light project. I just wanted to give you an update for that because we had spoken about it last month, hoping it would be up this month. And as many of you know, I've had some individual conversations with most of you. But due to the new tier system that we're in with the county, and we became in the extreme zone, we thought it would behoove us to not do something that requires a lot of touch points and possibly people gathering at one area of the wall. The good news is we have a great builder who is currently building us a Be the Light wall and all of the pieces for it. We have the materials on order for it, but we are going to delay it until 2021 when we will feel a little bit better about gathering. So the Cannery Square is all lit up and illuminated right now. I think it makes a lot more sense for us to let that be the holiday central magic moment that it is, and wait until that is cleared away and then come in with another community art piece. So that is Be the Light, and we're hoping that will be up in January or February. But when people are feeling like they can not be in the red zone, I guess, anymore. Does anyone have a question about that? I do still want Cultural Arts Commission to be a part of that, and we want to make sure to engage you all as much as possible. Be there at the opening. We just don't know when is smartest and most pragmatic and most beneficial to the community to have it up. But the goal is to still have it up.
Yeah, I've kind of questioned myself in the sense of this project that it's from what I remember reading about it seemed very hands-on in the light of everything that's going on with COVID. So I didn't know how that would work. Maybe I don't know if there's a way of reaching out to the lady that made the project to see if she's got a alternative plan for something like this. I don't know if that's an option.
Yeah. Well, we had some great discussions. That's a good question, John. We had some great discussions as a staff about what were the essential parts of this program or this project. And there are certain things that we can make COVID friendly. For instance, instead of having individual tea lights that someone turns on, we could have a string of fairy lights or string of bulbs already there. But it does feel like certain parts of it are really essential to it. You know, holding on to a piece of paper, writing down an intention or writing down a pledge to be the light, that seems like a pretty integral part of it. And that requires you to actually hold on to a writing utensil, write something down and clip it on or something. So we've got some ideas of how to make that more COVID friendly, maybe having digital submissions and someone else writes it, but we're hoping to preserve those actual elements of the physical act of writing a thing and attaching it somehow to the wall. So
yeah, another thing too is keeping in mind like what's happening with the park now with the lights, hoping that the weather is a little more forgiving in January than it has been the last week or two here, blowing things apart. So
yeah, it's been pretty torrential rain as well. And Kelsey did find some rain, what is it? It's waterproof paper, which is an amazing invention. But it's still, I mean, the good thing about the rain is it's keeping people from gathering in groups, I guess. I'll take that as a plus, but it's pretty torrential out there right now. Luckily, I think it's a project that will resonate no matter when it goes up, honestly. It's either a December solstice. I mean, hello, happy winter solstice today, everyone. It's either a winter time thing or a New Year's fresh start kind of thing, or it's a tail end of winter thing, or it's a welcoming in the spring. Like there's no bad time to do it. It's just not the right time right now.
Well, maybe that other line, the rain activated pavement or concrete paint, would be a good lead up to it, kind of like leaving clues throughout the city. That is maybe leading up to that project when we finally decide to do it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So the other community art things that we were going to discuss, Sky and I, today were number 2 is the pavement art. We do not have any restrictions against that kind of art on our sidewalks. So I would love for Cultural Arts Commission to head that project up in conjunction with staff, like we talked about last month. I'd like to talk about it more with Sky here, I guess, but that is definitely still on our radar. Does anyone have any questions or points of discussion for pavement art or rain activated art, I should say?
Yeah, definitely would need to be maybe in a not as rainy month, I would think, because then there would be no magic to it disappearing and reappearing.
Any other thoughts on that?
Just my 2 cents. I love the idea. I have never heard of it before, so it was pretty exciting to read that and see how it'll come to life. Just wondering, when you say how you want our support in conjunction with the staff, can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yes, I think ideally it would be a project that was led by Cultural Arts Commission, similar to, there have been 2 projects in the past that I know Jeff and John both worked on, the Unity Project and Sherwood Sheep, which were they had staff support from us at Cultural Arts, or at the Center for the Arts, but it had creative and volunteer and time effort put in by the Cultural Arts Commission. So I think that is something that we would need to really flesh out, Winnie, honestly. I would like to talk about more nuts and bolts when Sky is here, since she has been part of those other projects. But Jeff or John, can you speak to how that has worked in the past to give someone new to the...
Sure. Yeah, the last project, we kind of broke up into teams. Like, I think Sky and someone else worked on kind of like the marketing and shirts and stuff like that. And then Bernie and myself and Jeff kind of worked on the nuts and bolts of it. Like, Jeff was able to acquire some bamboo for fencing to kind of designate the area where we were putting the Unity Art project. And Bernie and I did a lot of painting, and I think definitely we had, this is going to be a little different now with we won't have yarn to roll, but we had yarn ball rolling parties when we had our cultural arts meeting. We sit and roll balls of yarn. So it's just figuring a way to break the project down into pieces so it's not overwhelming for people to be involved. So.
Thanks.
And I would encourage everyone, as we start thinking about how we want to execute this project, to look at Rainworks, which is a company out of Seattle. And it's a beautiful template that they've set up. I'm trying to look it up. Rainworks, rain.works. That's a great introduction to what this rain activated art might be. It's rain activated positive messages and art, and we will be asking Cultural Arts Commission for both logistical support and perhaps helping us spray the stencils, but also, where we want to place this around the city, where it might work best, and what we want some of that art to say.
Yeah, because a lot of it, they have a lot of stencils already ready to go, and then they have the actual spray that you would make your own. I think you can make your own things, but you need someone creative, people that are really creative with like window painting and stuff that can maybe make a design or two. I don't know. Looking at Casey, sorry.
Yeah, we've proven to be award-winning. Casey is an award-winning artist now. So I think a lot of our next meeting, frankly, will be about the logistics of this. We know what we want to do, but the how, the when, the where, we'll need to figure all of that out as a board or as a commission. But I would encourage everyone to look at rain.works and just familiarize yourself with how it's done and see what we want to, how best you want to be involved. Any more questions on rain-activated pavement art? No. All right, I'm going to move on because I know it's a holiday week. The other thing I did get thumbs up today for another kind of community engagement art. I know we had spoken about murals last month, and we finished the public art murals plan, and I thank you all for your good work on that. We were thinking we would do a mural along with the other District 3 cities with some of the community psyche funds, but that does not seem to have a green light right now. There's not a wall that is owned by the city that looks like it's a go for any kind of mural. So we've been looking at other alternatives, something that doesn't require something to be stuck on a wall. So in the absence of a mural or a mosaic, we've circled back a little bit, come full circle back to the idea that you all were talking about in May with the some kind of I'm losing my words, folks. Some kind of an installation that could hang and live somewhere without taking up wall space. That if we needed to hang it in the Center for the Arts lobby, or it could be moved and hung from City Hall or library or somewhere else and stored in a careful way, that it could come back and was community sourced. It looks like there is momentum behind that project, and I would like to pursue that. And are there any questions about that? And that would be a staff-led project. Center for the Arts staff would lead that, but using all those ideas that we in this group collectively came up with in May, and it would be community sourced with a professional artist involved, and hopefully would be something to serve our community long after this pandemic is over.
That was something that was kind of initially discussed, like a paper project or something along those lines, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And so the artists will get more than the $500 that we were originally talking about.
Yes.
It's good.
Yeah. It looks like there will be, we're still going to talk with some artists and price it out, but we'll be able to make an actual art piece that will be of high quality and led by a community engagement proficient artist. So I'm excited about that, actually.
Will it be something that will be able to be hung permanently somewhere?
I don't know. I think I think a lot of it needs to be talked about with the artist, and need to engage with an artist about that. I know we have, we have a gorgeous high ceilinged lobby in the Center for the Arts. And I know there's ample room up there to hang something that could have lasting impact.
And a possibility would be it could be hung somewhere, maybe in the library or City Hall, if it was a nice looking, permanent piece.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's precedent for moving arts pieces, things that move from place to place and are moved in such a way that they keep their artistic integrity and just reach more people every place that they are installed. So that would be the hope with this, that it is put together in such a way that it could be moved and displayed in other places. Any other questions? This is new. I don't have a lot of details beyond that, but I know that this group has been involved in discussing ideally what we would like to see for the community here. And I'm excited still for the community engagement piece as a way to commemorate and encourage how everyone's lasting through this pandemic. Any other thoughts or questions? I'll add one more thing. I did contact BRAC and ask for specific names of artists who do this kind of work. A lot of the names are similar to the ones that we had talked about months ago. So I will have a list of artists, and we'll start talking to them about what this might look like. And again, we'll have a lot more information to share in January. All right, if there's no more questions or discussion, and again, as always, you can email me or call me or talk to me anytime. We just can't reply all or send to the large group to discuss, but I'm happy to talk to anyone individually about any of these art projects. Do we want to move on to, it's our favorite time of year, it's SWAT time.
So who will be leading the SWAT if Sky was supposed to do that?
So, well, I do have a draft down, and Kelsey, are you able to share that draft?
Let's see here. Now, I was able to share it before you all got on here. Now it's not showing up. Hold on one second.
Guys, someday we'll be back to the days of gathering around a table with cups of tea and actual paper waiting for you, stapled together. It'll feel so strange.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. Thank you, Kelsey. So as we look at this is just a draft, and Sky and I just put some things down really quickly. This is up for discussion. What I'd love to do is just look it over with all of you, and if something pops up or if something pops up right away, or you have an immediate idea of how to make it better, please say something and we'll change it. If not, I'll go ahead and send this to all of you on email, and if you could respond to me with your ideas by Wednesday, that would be great. I do want to get this into to Sylvia to get to City Council, and it's been kind of an interesting year. It doesn't need to be perfect by any chance, but it does need to accurately reflect what we've done. So we'll just start with strengths and go all the way through the SWOT. And if something hits you, please speak up and say, hey, switch that, or I don't like how that's worded, or I don't agree with that. And let's fix those things right away. And then anything else, if you can email me your thoughts by Wednesday. Does that work for people?
Yes.
Sound good? Okay.
I have a question, Chanda. Is this the first time we're doing this, or do we have one from last year?
We do have one from last year. This is a yearly thing. And
has anything changed from last year? Like any of the weaknesses became strength, or the threats? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great question. Some of them have shifted. A few of them feel COVID influenced. It's definitely different. Would you like to have?
Yeah, that would be nice to see what was last year.
Mm-hmm.
If you can send that document as well when you do send this one.
Yes. Would that be helpful for folks to see last year's? Thank you, Casey. Okay. So, I'd actually like to start at the bottom. Actually, you can go to the very bottom. It does ask, what are your 2 or 3 most significant accomplishments for this past year as a board or commission? What we have down there right now is strengthening our Arts Commission by adding highly qualified members. I think it's a real strength to have Winnie and Rachel on board, and it feels like every time we have highly qualified members join our Arts Commission, it just strengthens us as a body. Also put finishing and releasing the public art plan. I know that has been a major thing that we've been trying to do for a while. And the third thing is finishing the murals plan. Is there any discussion about those three most significant accomplishments, or anything you want to add or change? Or give a yes?
Yes, from my side, I've seen these three and I agree with it.
Yeah, okay with me too.
I agree as well. Those look great.
All right. All right. And if anything occurs to you later, just email me. Thank you. All right. And moving on, then it asks, what are your 2 or 3 major goals for the upcoming year as a board or commission? And these are always interesting. I know for the last year and a half, at least, we have been explicitly focused on public art and what we want to bring to Sherwood in terms of community-focused art and things that enhance our downtown. So this focus has not changed. I put number 1, assist with new public art installations, perhaps plural, or projects, perhaps plural, that benefit Sherwood, including pavement art project. I did want to put that specifically in because I know that has been a goal of this Arts Commission far longer than I have been around. And so I want to put that pavement art project specificity in there. Number 2, hold an Arts Commission visioning session retreat geared towards fully realizing the talents and contributions of our current board. We were not able to have a retreat this year, this past calendar year, but I think that's going to be important to really fully get Winnie and Rachel on board, and also to take advantage of the talents of several of you before you leave us on this board. So that's a goal of mine. And then the third, continue to attract new arts commissioners to fill all our positions. I know that we have been very fortunate and blessed to have a student representative the last few years, and we're missing a student representative this year. And I just want to make sure that we continue to have strong people in all of the positions. Any discussion points on that, or any strong feelings, yes or no?
I was curious, how is there a possible way of looking into getting a student officer or student member again to be a part of this commission?
Yes. I think part of the issue, honestly, has been not having students in a physical school. I know in the past we've posted at the high school, and in the past our current high school rep has passed the word on to his or her fellow high school students and really pushed it among their peers. I honestly think teenagers are having a hard time right now, and a lot of them are doing as best they can. But we could reach out via high school teacher colleagues and friends and see if we can get the word out that way. We can also reach out to our latest student representative, Ava, and see if she would contact some of her younger classmates. I am optimistic that there is a student out there who would love to be a part of it. I just know that high schoolers are dealing with an incredible amount of other issues right now. But if someone wanted to take that on too, that would be a great project if anyone has any ties to the high school. I know we work with several high schoolers at the center.
Yeah, I can try and reach out to some of the folks, the parent association, and see who they might suggest in the sense of a direction to look for that.
And it is a rolling. All our positions are open until filled now, and so if it was a high school student who was perhaps not going to graduate in 2021, but perhaps graduating in 2022, that would be great to give them a little more time on this commission. Thank you in advance, John, for reaching out. Any other discussion on those two or three major goals? Anything that is missed or does not ring true?
Is it inappropriate to mention the murals in number A? Is that a goal to have a mural?
Anyone want to weigh in on that? I'm fine with putting the word mural.
Wouldn't be part of the new public art installation or projects? Wouldn't be part of it, the mural?
Yeah, that's where I was considering it to be added somewhere in there.
Assist with new public art installation or murals or mural instead of the word project, to be more specific.
So I know there's not a city or public wall available, but is there any opportunity of maybe asking a public, or not a public, a private business about any of their walls that they might be interested in doing this?
Yeah, so that's the goal of the murals plan, right? Is to give private businesses or neighborhood groups a way forward to putting a mural up, and then you, as the Cultural Arts Commission, would just help with the selection of with the approval of that process. So yes, there are a lot of privately owned walls in Sherwood, and there's a lot of precedents in other towns for partnering with private businesses in that way. So are there more people? You're also very small right now. I'm trying to get a sense of faces. Do we want to put the word murals in A?
Yeah, what about something like saying assisted with new public art installation projects such as mural or something that benefit Sherwood? Or is that too many prepositional phrases?
I think that's fine. And I'll be sending this out again too, so everyone can look at it again when you're all full of Christmas dinner and see if we've worded it strangely or not. Okay. So I'm adding the word murals in, and I'm going to read it again and see if it makes sense. Any last discussion on major goals?
Yeah, I would say the only thing it's not about the goals, but in a sense of a location. I don't know if anyone knows who owns that one business that's across the street from Symposium, because they have a rather large wall on the other side that's pretty darn clean. I think it's off of First Street.
Yeah, that backs up to the city parking lot there. I know that's been a commonly looked at wall.
Yeah. Our downtown has many. It's a gorgeous blank canvas for a lot of gorgeous art. I do know right now, I mean, there is the first mural will probably be the one that the community enhancement grant went to last year. So I'm excited for that. That'll be on the site of Symposium. At least that is the plan. But yeah, we could walk around Old Town sometime, and there's a lot of beautiful areas and walls. But anything else to add there before we move on? All right, let's head up to strengths. We're going to go back up to the top of strengths. And real quick, we wrote in there significant staff support, enthusiasm, and project experience at Center for the Arts. You know, Kelsey and Leah and I are all behind the projects that we do, and we've got a lot of enthusiasm there, and also it's a focus that we can have this year as well. I put alignment with the recently completed Parks Master Plan. Public art is mentioned in that plan, which I'm excited about. But one of the strengths is you arts commissioners have passion, diverse perspectives, and arts backgrounds. That's a plus. Effective social media channels in place to communicate and engage with citizens about the arts in Sherwood. And that's also a way, if we did want to engage with any kind of community focused art, we have those channels already available to us to get to source ideas from the community, which is great. I think this might be typos, but it says funding opportunities, public art connections, and resources throughout the county, state, and nation. I think that's just, I'm not sure what we were trying to say there. I think it's funding opportunities and public art connections. So there are definitely a lot of grants still, especially for public art. Relationships with local business owners and school district and other city departments. That's a strength. We're a small town. People know each other and want to help each other. A community that is excited about the possibilities presented by public art. That's a strength. A thriving downtown historic area where art possibilities abound. I think that's what we were just talking about with the various clean walls. Close relationships built with other cities doing public art. The good thing about having this public art plan that we've worked on for a while is we have relationships now with Tualatin, Hillsborough, Newburgh, Tigard, Wilsonville, and others. And RAC knows who we are and they know what we're working on, and we're able to call up people and get some tangible help and resources. Anything strike anyone about these strengths? Anything not ring true or wording a little wonky?
I think you covered it all.
Okay. Any other thoughts, yay or nay? All right, let's move on to weaknesses. We have weaknesses: lack of momentum and forward movement due to differing priorities. I know that as an arts commission, we're all focused on making public art happen. I think it's hard sometimes when there is not momentum. I put inability to meet together in person due to COVID. That's just the reality of where we are right now. It does seem to take a little longer to get things done when we're not in the same physical space sometimes. And then everybody's time is at a premium with many added demands. And that's all of you and volunteers and staff. That's also a reality of where we are right now with people schooling from home, working from home, and things like that. I'm open to all feedback there. I don't know if it's a weakness necessarily or just just realistically where we are right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering too, in the sense that inability to meet together could possibly work as a threat as well, because we don't know how long this is going to go.
Mm-hmm. Any thoughts on that? Does that belong in threat?
It's definitely a current weakness, just the unknowing.
Casey or Winnie, any thoughts on that?
I feel the same.
I think I know we don't know how long it's going to last. It seems like it's forever. But that's not the weakness of the commission, you know what I mean? Or the public arts. It's the reality right now, but it's not the weakness.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to say that because of COVID and not able to physically meet, the decisions are being delayed, then it's a different story.
Yes. It does feel like some things have been delayed.
So that we need to work on that, right? So if that's a weakness, then we should put that in instead of inability to meet together, because the main concern is that decisions are not being made sooner.
Any thoughts on how to word that, folks?
Need to think about it.
Okay. It's all right. I'll send all these notes out, and everyone gnaw on something really. Eat some gingerbread cookies and drink some cocoa and think about these. Right. Anything else to add to weaknesses? Appreciate this discussion. Okay, we'll move on to opportunities. There's a growing awareness of the importance of public art in vibrant downtowns and a need to boost morale. I really do feel like that is an opportunity right now. There's a lot of momentum for the healing power of arts and the bringing together power of art right now. Blank spaces around town, it's an opportunity. I did put community psyche funds and the District 3 focus on a lasting public art piece. That is a big opportunity right now. And every city in District 3 is doing a piece of public art. The community wants public art. That's an opportunity. Any thoughts on opportunities? Anything that you would add or take away, or does it ring true? Jeff, do you have thoughts? See your face.
Well, I was just trying to think if the either bridge or tunnel for the high school is an opportunity for us to add art to it.
The pedestrian bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens there?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of precedent around the country too for doing beautiful art on pedestrian bridges and overpasses and underpasses.
Since we know something has to go there, I see it as an opportunity.
Yeah. Sean, do you know if they've decided on pedestrian bridge or an under? Is it going over under?
Yeah, I think we're still talking bridge, and I know that was one of the discussions that they did have on, kind of what if it was going to have a broad face on 99W, depending on the design. There's a couple different ones that they've looked at, and I think the last one I heard them going for was a little bit more of a wood kind of prefab one, but yeah, there's a potential for looking at some type of art maybe on there.
Any other thoughts on that? Thank you, Sean. Jeff? Okay, I'm going to head on to threats. And again, anything that strikes you after this meeting, you can email me to your heart's content. Threats. I put inertia. That is spelled wrong. It should not say intertia. Sorry about that. Inertia. Second threat that we identified was apathy or lack of awareness towards public art. I think, as we all know, sometimes it's an education piece. If you don't know the possibilities of public art, or you haven't experienced the benefits of public art, it's hard to know why we're also passionate about it. And then budgetary priorities of the council. Again, there are a lot of opportunities for funding. So I almost would, I would almost just put priorities, not even budget priorities. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I agree with John and Winnie about putting something about COVID as a threat. And one thing would just be on the rental of the facility itself.
So the use of the art center?
Yeah, and and a lot of and other impacts from just the pandemic itself.
Okay. Any other thoughts there?
Yeah. Pandemic is pretty much affecting, I would say, most of those things.
Yeah.
That are in threats.
What do you mean by inertia? Is inertia of not getting enough art programs going on, or not from this team?
I'm trying to remember what our discussion was on that. That's a great question, Casey. I think just the inability to move forward. I don't think it reflects on our team necessarily, except I do know that there's a lot more on everybody's individual plate than there was last year at this time. Any other thoughts on how to, whether to include that, or is there a better way to state that? I mean, speaking of impacts of COVID, I mean,
that's one of the impact.
Yeah, well, and the hard thing is there is a lot of not knowing. We could partner with a small business to do a piece of art, and that small business may not be able to survive or be open as much. I mean, it is kind of an unknown right now, which I think the unknowing can lead to inertia or paralysis or a lack of forward momentum. I think making art is always an act of faith and an act of, throwing it out there, and it's always an act of faith and always a leap of faith. And during this pandemic, I think some people are more likely to leap and less likely to leap.
Yeah.
So I'd love to keep this to an hour. So I know everyone has families to get back to. So it's 7:32. I will send this out to everyone. I will also send out last year's SWAT that Bernie presented to everyone at the dinner, which, Winnie, you will enjoy that dinner next year. And just, if you could all get back to me, that would be great. And I did say Wednesday. I'm just trying to keep it from going into Christmas. I would love to get this to Sylvia as quickly as possible. Don't overthink it. This is an exercise that we can use as a team to figure out where our priorities are for next year. No one's going to be looking at this and evaluating your effectiveness or our effectiveness. This is more of a tool to give ourselves a snapshot of where we are and where we want to go, and use it as a helpful exercise in that way. And it'll go to council. Sylvia will send it on to council. Can you give me a thumbs up if you would be able to look at it and give me any feedback by Wednesday? Does that work for folks?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you in advance. I appreciate your brains on this. I appreciate your critical eye, and I look forward to talking about the very fruitful public art projects that are on our horizon. I do want to look ahead to next month. Don, can we go to other business?
Sure.
Oh wait.
We still got to do.
Councilor Garland. We have councilor update, and then I have an other.
Oh, okay. I can make this real brief. I'll just for the sake of time. Yeah. So we're done for the year as far as council meetings go. We've done our 2 meetings here in December. A very productive year overall. We spent most of it in online meetings, which was wild. Interesting to see how you can conduct government business online, but we've all had to make some adjustments. So we're back on January 5th. And so one of the notable things on January 5th is that we swear in the newly elected officials. So Mayor Mays, Councilor Browse, Councilor Young, and myself are all being sworn in for our new terms. We'll be selecting a new council president, or we'll be selecting a council president. Doesn't necessarily have to be a new one. Currently, it's Tim Rosner as our council president. Really a lot of planning department stuff going on here in January and February. Some land use PUDs, planned unit developments, looking at some Tonkin Employment Agency stuff, work sessions. We're going to be talking about sign code discussions. We've had a few discussions about it and have kind of continued to have more because we're very aware of the benefit to some of our local businesses about having signs, and specifically we're looking at those feather signs as one of the ones that has come up most commonly. And there's a little bit of a disdain for some of those signs by some members of council, but at this point we really don't want to do anything that's going to negatively hurt our businesses. So we've really talked about it, but haven't taken any action on those yet. Apparently online, there's been some discussion or some interest in bringing back talk about backyard chickens, which was on the council agenda a few years ago. We're going to have a work session in January. We had originally planned on doing that here in the fall, but with just a lot of our budget stuff and other issues that came up that were a little bit more critical in nature, we've bumped it out to January 19th is when we're currently scheduled to have that work session. That's really it for now. I mean, we're still moving along, doing what we can to help our local businesses. There's quite a few grants that we're looking to push out here very, very quickly to some of our local businesses, like $4,000 for quite a few of the local businesses. And then, of course, we're all kind of anxiously watching the news. It doesn't look great out of Washington, D.C. as far as funding coming to local states, but hopefully maybe in the new administration we can get a government that is looking out for our local, state, and city governments. So that's my report for the day. If anybody has any questions.
Thank you, Sean. And we appreciate your liaison work with us.
Yeah, I think we usually look at those at the beginning of the year as well. I certainly will push to come back again. I don't anticipate we'll have any big changes to our assignments. I think everybody's happy where they are. So hopefully I'll be back again next year.
Awesome. Thank you. John, do you want to go to other?
Sure.
I have an other. I'd love everyone to look at the agenda, just upcoming dates of note. I do want us to note that January 18th is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which is a federal holiday. So that would typically be our third Monday of the month. We will need to be meeting on the 25th instead due to the federal holiday. So please note that, and we'll see you on the 25th for our next meeting. Anyone else have any other items? Okay. Well, I do want to say thank you for meeting. I know it's 4 days before Christmas. I hope everyone is staying healthy and encouraged and well. This is a December like none other. So please stay encouraged and reach out if you need anything. I'm very happy to have seen all of your faces and gotten to work with you this year. Winnie, I hear your little one in the background.
Sorry about that.
No, I love it. That's a special thing to come out of 2020. So I really look forward to all of us being in the same room again together. I know it will happen. Feeling very encouraged, but just sending you all good wishes for, health, encouragement, and wellness for these next couple weeks.
Yeah.
Why don't you say thank you for your leadership, Chanda? You helped me ground to the team, and for doing a fabulous job with your team members. So thank you.
Well, thank you. All right, you guys. Have a good holiday.
You too. Take care.
You too. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you.